Hey, 12B Georgia, how you doing, brother? I saw you pop in, and I'm a minute early, but I wanted to come on in because you're here, and we'll spend a few minutes together. Maybe we'll have somebody else pop in here in a minute. 12B Georgia, you know as well as John that I like to get 10 people in here before I actually start my show. May not get that tonight because my notifications aren't going out. I had people calling me at 2 o'clock this afternoon saying they just got their notification for my 11 o'clock show. So we'll see what happens here in a few minutes. Give me a second. American Joe seems to be posting same time. How about that? Anyway, we got Donnie Newman in here too. Hey, Bobby, she said, fighting to
Donnie, how are you?
Hey, Donnie, how you doing? I'm going to try to pull this up on my phone. So give me just a second, and I'll join back. I'll join you back because I want to see what's going on. So give me just a second, my phone, and let me mute this because I want to see what's going on.
It hasn't posted.
There we go. Okay, so now I can see what's going on because a lot of times my phone's quicker than my computer because I'm on a heck of a delay, guys.
Yeah.
So we got 3 people in here. I still don't know who the third person is, but we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, and we'll just sort of amble on here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my welcomes. I want to welcome everybody that comes in. I want to welcome everybody that comes in for the replay. If you're not a subscriber, I ask you to please subscribe. Subscribe to my channel. You know, hit the like button. Let me know that you like what I'm doing. Leave me a comment. If you disagree with me, that's fine. Leave me a comment. If you agree, then that's even better. But you know, you have the bell icon on the side, and if you'll just tap that thing, you'll know when I go live. And during this coronavirus and all of the stuff that's happening with our country and lockdowns and all this kind of stuff and checks being sent. We've got stuff going on that is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And so if we're not careful, because of the democratic social justice warriors, fear will be our downfall. And I just want to tell you just a little bit what I think about fear. Fear is a powerful and primitive emotion. It alerts us to the presence of danger and was critical in keeping our ancestors alive. There's 2 kinds of fear. The biochemical fear reaction is a survival mechanism that is fight or flight response. Adrenaline is the following. Emotional response to fear is personal. That's why we see adrenaline junkies doing crazy things to invoke the chemical adrenaline response. It's a high, it's a rush. It's dangerous to tempt fate. It makes you feel good. It just sends you over the top. Sometime, though, fear becomes a phobia. And this is when people being subjective and protective because of chaos and their way of understanding a perceived threat. And with the phobias, there can be very great dangers for people around them. So be careful who you shelter with, because if they go freaking out over this coronavirus, it could be a big thing. So we're not going to just dwell on the coronavirus by no means. So everybody, welcome John, my brother, Fight and Defend.
What's going on, everybody?
Thank you for being here. We still don't have very many people in here. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm not going to concern myself with numbers. If I do that, I'll just be like everybody else. So we're going to do our show tonight, John. And do you want to start this, or would you like me to bring up a topic?
Go ahead. You're there's been no alert yet on your show, so not surprised.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, that's the games they're playing. No, I was just looking up. Donnie had said she heard George Soros has the virus. Harvey Weinstein.
I hope so.
That's what I'm looking right now. Harvey Weinstein does.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Let me see if I can get anything up on Soros. Jeez, then would that be a crying shame, the poor guy?
Yeah, 12B Georgia, I know they are not sending out a notification on my show at all. I don't know what the deal is. I believe you let me know earlier today that you didn't get the notification for my morning show until long after it was already done. Are you working on something there, Fight and Defend?
Yeah, I was just saying that nothing's coming up saying that Soros has it. So
Okay.
I just wanted to see. But I will keep an eye out. If it does come up, I'll let you know. So, okay. Enough of that. Yeah, you want to get into the adrenochrome, the super drug?
Yeah, we might as well.
The super
Might as
drug.
well do that. Just get it over with.
All right. I got a couple things on this. Basically, this whole thing with the adrenochrome is a very dangerous game for the Hollywood elites and the cabal and stuff. This stuff has a worse addiction rate than heroin does.
Yes, it does. They say that take it one time and you're immediately addicted.
Yeah. And the withdrawals is ironic because the withdrawals are what we're watching with these people right now. If you look at how they look, the ones that are sending out their tweets, you got Ellen and you got, trying to think of some of the other ones, but I mean, Ellen's in panic mode literally right now.
Ellen actually looks 80 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. She's in panic mode, right? She has been in panic mode trying to get a hold of Jennifer Aniston. She's been talking to all our other friends who, ironically, are all part of the whole spirit cooking, adrenochrome, child trafficking ring. But for some reason, she's trying to get a hold of Jennifer Aniston. So I dug into that and then come to find out when Harvey Weinstein was in court, they came up with some paperwork where Harvey Weinstein actually told Jennifer Aniston that she needs to die.
Right, because she didn't play along with their plan.
Apparently, there was talk that Weinstein supposedly sexually assaulted her. Her people have come out and said no, that it didn't happen. So that leads me to believe that she's snitching.
Of course.
And that Ellen is in panic mode. They're trying to tie up loose ends. So
makes sense. You, as a police officer for many years, you're the one with that kind of knowledge on how that kind of thing works.
Yep. They are in major panic mode. All of them right now are in major panic mode. You know, this whole adrenochrome is going to be very painful for them. And let me read something real quick. I got two things to read to you real quick. And once I get done, it'll blow your mind.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it, brother.
Adrenochrome, when you do the adrenochrome, it spikes your body in the iron content. Iron, they call it, it's FeFe, F-E-F-E. It's iron.
F-E-F-E is the biological terminology for iron.
Yeah.
F-E-F-E.
Yeah, and ferritin.
Just like CO2 is carbon dioxide and O2 is oxygen.
Yeah. It says the marker of the adrenochrome junkies. Their supply lines are cut. They have to resort to acquiring children themselves. Hence why everyone is in their homes quarantined. Or they have to resort to synthetic. Otherwise, they die. Adrenochrome heavy users captures iron content in the body. Ferritin, they do a ferritin test on them, acts as a sequester for iron and is a marker for how high the content is.
How high the content of iron is in your blood.
Right.
Okay.
You got to figure everybody has iron in the system and it's regulated. Well, when you do the adrenochrome, their levels are extremely high because it's all part of the adrenochrome and the adrenaline. So now you're instantly sending your body into overdose. And that's what
Right.
gives you all that euphoric sensations and hallucinogens and all that. So, ferritin acts as a sequester for iron and is a marker for how high the content is. This person wrote, and I suspect the coronavirus was caused by black hats, but the cure is wormwood. Would you like to explain that, Bobby?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to touch that. Wormwood is biblical, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't researched it, but that's scary that they would name it after a something in the Bible. But you know what? Everything you just told us about the ferritin test and the levels of iron, all of that indicates adrenochrome ingestion. All of that, it signifies that you've been ingesting adrenochrome.
Yeah.
People don't get high levels of iron from nowhere.
Now,
and they know for a fact you do get it from adrenochrome.
Yeah. Now, wormwood is also a plant that has
Yes, it is.
very good healing powers. Okay. There's two things in that. And Trump actually had just mentioned these names, and I cannot pronounce them for the life of me. So we'll pass on that. But basically, it's distilled spirits for cleaning and hand sanitizing. That is the cure. Okay. Well, the problem is the people that are on the adrenochrome, if they use that stuff, it will kill them.
Wow.
So think about that. These guys are in a bad situation. So it continues. It says, and how funny would it be if all these adrenochrome users cannot get reprieve from the wormwood-based cures because the high iron content will kill them, because there's such high iron content in those medications, and they already have extremely high levels of iron in their system. It will kill them. So basically, what it comes down to is a long, agonizing pain and death through adrenochrome withdrawal, wormwood poisoning, or suicide.
Wow. I'm just sitting here.
That's going to bite them. So the one thing that can help them, they can't use because it'll kill them. So either they do it and they die, or they suffer.
It says here that wormwood is used for various digestion problems such as appetite, upset stomach, gallbladder disease, and intestinal spasm.
Yeah.
Wormwood is also used to treat fever, liver disease, depression, muscle pain, memory loss, and wormwood infections, to increase sexual desire.
Yeah.
As a tonic and a stimulant for sweating. That's crazy. But that's what they're using. You with me, John?
Yeah, I was just reading what God Bless America wrote.
I'll be honest with you. I appreciate God Bless America and Jeff B. in 12B, Georgia. And there's one more in here, Donnie Newman. Thank you, guys. We've got a whole 4 people in here tonight. Yeah. And I know for a fact that none of my notifications have went out today. I don't know what the deal is. As for me, if I want to watch somebody, I know when they come on live usually. They don't. And I don't wait for notifications. I know they come on at a certain time on a certain day of the week. And so I always go and check. But that's not here or there.
Yeah, it still hasn't been sent, so that's why nobody.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
all right, let me read this. As I said before, I'm not very religious, but somebody sent me this, and I thought it was appropriate for what's going on. This is from Isaiah 26:20-21.
Thank you.
It says, "My people, go into your houses, shut the doors behind you, hide yourselves for a little while. Do it until the Lord's anger is over. He is coming from the place where he lives. He will punish the people of the earth for its sins. The blood spilled on the earth will be brought out in the open. The ground will no longer hide those who have been killed."
Wow.
Think about that.
That's deep. What do you think about that, John?
Kind of fits into what's going on right now, especially after I read all this about the adrenochrome and how these guys are going to suffer. It's going to be a painful situation for them. It really is.
Sure.
Hey, you know what? You made your bed, lie in it. I got no sympathy for any of them at all. So,
and you know, maybe this is just part of the bigger plan.
Yeah.
I don't think for a minute that this is all by mistake.
You know, I mean, think about it. What are the chances that the people that are doing this satanic, practice are the ones that are going to pay the ultimate price right now? You've got something that can be cured, but what will cure you will kill you. How convenient.
Yes.
How convenient when you think about it. So that is that with the coronavirus. But I wanted to bring up something else that I dug into today that was very, very interesting. We've all talked about the Spanish flu back in, back in 1918. And if anybody looks and you find out all about the history of that, ironically, during that time, the Rockefeller Institute was working with a gentleman by the name of Frederick Gates, who was working on the pandemic.
Yes.
Ironically, all these years later, the Rockefellers, David Rockefeller at one point had said that Bill Gates was basically an incredible human for all the humanitarian things he does for the world. And Bill Gates is still in contact with the Rockefellers. I'm trying to find if Frederick Gates is a relative of Bill Gates. It's not his father or grandfather, because I've got that history, but I couldn't find aunts or, uncles or what have you.
Right. Yeah, sometimes that's difficult.
It's just kind of a coincidence, or as I say, a coinkydink, that Frederick Gates was working with the Rockefellers when the pandemic broke out. And here we are years later, knowing full well that Bill and Melinda Gates own the patent to the coronavirus.
And now they're trying to come up with the cure.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to come up with a vaccine.
If you got enough money.
Yeah, exactly.
So now think about that, Bobby. There's another thing. We know they always have a cure before they put the disease out. So all these elites figured that they were saved because there's a cure. What they didn't realize, the ones that are into the adrenochrome, what they didn't realize is that cure is going to kill them if they take it.
Right.
So again, we're in a full circle. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, some may say that's cruel to say, but it's a beautiful thing. And
12B Georgia said, God Bless America said to 12B Georgia, and we're here to see it happen.
Yes, we are.
And that's what's great, guys. Man, 12B Georgia and God Bless America and Donnie Newman and Jeff B. That's what we're talking about, man. We are seeing things that it's not going to take a whole lot for this to be biblical. It's really not. This could fulfill many Bible prophecies, but I'm not going there. That's not what we're talking about. But, we have to think about the National Guard in Washington and New York and California. I mean, they're on full alert. Papers have been signed by Trump, and the governors will be in charge of this National Guard's, units, but only under FEMA.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because once the president got involved, it became a federal thing, and now FEMA's got their 2 cents worth in on top of everything else. So now we have not just the corrupt Democrat governors, we have FEMA on top of them taking care of outbreaks.
Right.
And Trump keeps calling it the hidden enemy, the invisible enemy. And then he goes live on television today, and he talked about unnecessary numbers. You know, how many gloves, how many masks. I just can't believe he did that.
Yeah.
You know, he gave us a 15-minute speech and he said absolutely nothing. He said absolutely nothing.
Well, it may seem like he said nothing. Keep that in mind too. Everybody's playing the drop game right now. I didn't watch it, so I can't say, but it kind of makes me wonder. The only thing is that I worry about is that with the governors taking control of this, how many people have died in the U.S., Bobby?
Oh my goodness, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. I didn't write it down.
400?
Something like that, right at 400.
If you watch the news, they got the governor there in New York saying that there's a New Yorker dying every minute from the coronavirus. Now,
I read that. Yeah.
Why the hell would you say that? Once again, people, we're back to this fear porn.
You know, I heard it all my life. There's a fool born every minute, and that's pretty much true.
Yeah.
But you're saying there's a person dying every minute. Well, yeah, that's probably true too.
Not in New
If
York.
you look at the numbers, they've probably been whatever the numbers are today of people dying in New York is the same as it was last month and 3 months ago and 6 months ago. It may vary just a point or two, but there's no more deaths in New York right now than there has been in the past months.
Right.
By numbers.
Are people dying? Sure. But
yeah, they are.
Not one every minute. And then in the same sentence, he's crying for more money.
Well, I mean, I feel for the families of these people, and I feel for the people who come down with this coronavirus. I really do. But at the same time, you know, we have to look at the leaders who are supposed to be leading us, and look what's happening in New York. Just look what's happening in New York.
Yeah.
And California and Washington. They're calling in the military. I mean, you know, I don't live that far from Atlanta, and as far as I can tell, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
You know, the stores, some of the shelves are a little bare, but if you go at the right time when they're stocking, everything's there. You know, I went to get milk the other day to 2 different Walmarts to get milk, and I couldn't find any. Yeah. And I went to a local grocery store and there was no milk. But my niece, who lives about 10 miles from here, called my mother and said, "Do y'all need anything?" And Mom said, "Some milk." And heck, she grabbed up 2 gallons and brought it to us. Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's not out there. You know, I mean, you're going to find the stuff that you want usually in the smaller grocery stores, you know, because everybody's going to be hitting Walmart, you know, and all the name brands like Kroger and all that. Yeah. So if you need something, check your smaller stores and your smaller business establishments around town, because they're going to have what you want if there's any to be had, because everything else is going to be picked over. Yeah. You know, things are basically normal here. I mean, a little less traffic and stuff, but nothing has really changed. You know, you go to the store. Yeah. So some things may not be there. You go down the road and pick it up down there. You know, I think people are finally, I mean, the numbers are rising. Do you notice where, and Jeff B actually said that the numbers doubled today in Florida. That seems to be the new thing. They've doubled everywhere in 24 hours throughout the United States and the world. Why all of a sudden are we doubling in numbers? Here we go again. And you know what it is people got so accustomed to this, they're tired of the fear porn, and they know that they're losing the people's attention. So let's double it. All right. Well, I gotta jump right in here on top of you with this now, because this is right up your alley, John. All right. Sealed indictments are being opened. Yes, they are. Yes, give us your take on that, John. Yes, they are. Yep, they are. They are. We will. We'll find out soon. We'll find out soon. The names are going to start coming out. Trump has said that he is going to be naming names. It's not all going to be kept a secret. Right. We're going to be aware of who's going down. They want people to see.
They want everybody to see that they've been bamboozled and who they've been bamboozled by. All our actors, our actresses, our CEOs. I mean, think about it. All these CEOs that have bailed. I looked it up and there was like 1,600 so far that bailed.
Yeah. From major institutions and companies and corporations.
Exactly. Yeah. They've all left. And for what reason? You know, I mean, everything is out of the norm. You can see the pattern unfolding. They're scattering like rats. They're throwing stuff at us so fast. Stupid laws, crazy crap. The military's here. They're coming to get you. They're going to kick your doors down. All this BS. But you know what, though? People have had the sunshine blowing up their backside so long that we're not falling for it anymore. Common sense, people. That's all we need. Common sense. The rest of it, throw it out the window. Everybody turn off their freaking TVs. It's all BS. Seriously. You know, I mean, we're in the middle of a major crisis and gas is down to 99 cents in Kentucky.
Yeah, it's even lower than that here in Georgia.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so, I had to get out yesterday and run to the store, and I saw the a little station right there where I get my cigarettes. But yeah, I got to get out tomorrow and get dog food. I'm not really one to get out too much anyway. But during this, I'll stay in more than I have to. So tomorrow when I go out, I'm going to hit everything I have to hit that I think I might need for the next couple of weeks. I mean, I'm good with groceries. I'm good with ammo and weapons, but I've still got dog food, to stockpile and stuff like that. So I'm going to do all that tomorrow, and then I'm just going to come back home, and I'm going to enjoy homemade chili, and beef vegetable stew, and homemade pizzas and all that kind of stuff. Hamburger steaks and country fried steaks. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to eat. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat.
Donnie, you're right. Donnie said the silent war is not the virus. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's not the virus.
Amen.
That's not what they're referring to. I'm trying to see if anything, any new pics came up of these sick looking. I mean, listen, I've seen many prostitutes and stuff and many junkies that were having withdrawals when I used to arrest them. And they look pretty good compared to some of these Hollywood elites look right now.
Yeah, they're all looking. Everyone that I looked at in recent pictures all look disheveled and not feeling so well. They look green, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I tell you, they're going to be in a lot of pain. They're going to get some serious suffering. They really are, and it's happening now. You're not going to see it, but they're suffering. Their withdrawals.
Yeah, it's going to be like this. We're going to have to. Things are happening right now, and that we're even unaware of in a lot of places.
Yep.
I mean, there are people running around like ants behind the scene making things happen that we're not even aware of or won't even notice until such a time as everything is manifest that is going to be manifest and everything is brought to light.
Yeah.
There has to be a darkness and then there has to be an unveiling. And I'm afraid when the unveiling comes, we're going to see a different America.
Oh, definitely.
From what I can find, we're going to lose 70% of our politicians and our Hollywood elite. They're just going to go away.
We're going to lose 70% of just our Congress. Never mind.
Yeah.
They said that when this was done, we were going to lose over 70% of our elected officials.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I mean, you're 70% of everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, the hell with Hollywood. Who cares? Let them burn.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Why are there vehicles, military vehicles seen on rail cars running across the country? As most of America is being locked down, there's military movements of vehicles nationwide. The National Guard has denied that the vehicles are for the National Guard. Lieutenant Colonel Layton says if we, the National Guard, were to mobilize, we wouldn't need trains. We'd drive them there because they stay within the state.
Yeah.
So where are these military vehicles going? Where did they come from?
I haven't seen them, but you're going to see them in your big cities.
Yeah.
California, New York, Illinois. But then again, when we've had this discussion, where do they all seem to be going? The blue states.
True.
Once again, put it together. All the action is in the blue states, the elite states. And ironically, that's where all the arrests are happening.
Isn't that something? I love it.
Call it a quinky dink.
All right. Well, let me ask you this: is this fear on the side of the elite? When the Democrat New Orleans mayor, Latoya Cantrell, says she's given herself the power. Get that? She's given herself the power to do this.
You like that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's self-power. I'm going to give myself the power. I'm going to anoint myself because I am the chosen one and I can do whatever I want to do. And here's what she says she's going to do. She's going to ban the sale and or transportation of all firearms. Now, anybody out there who is a Second Amendment type person, they ought to know that Mayor Cantrell has limited or suspended the sale and transportation of your beer and alcoholic beverages, among a lot of other things. So now, here you are, New Orleans. What are you going to do? You're going to let this demon rat mayor just make you neuter you like a dog?
Bobby,
take away your manhood?
It is all about making us suffer before they go down. They want us to suffer as much as they can before they go down.
They have to know that they're going down. They've known that since the very beginning, since the day that Christ was resurrected, they've known they were going down.
Well, they didn't care then. Now reality has punched them in the face. Now they're nervous. Desperate people do desperate things. Listen, most of them have more fear of losing control than they do of the coronavirus.
True.
These people that are telling us to stay home and stay locked in our houses are the same ones that are releasing inmates, and yet they get together for their rallies all the time, and that's okay. And once again, it's a do as I say, not as I do.
Always that way.
But you know what, though? The people are tired, and they're not listening anymore. You look all over where all these curfews and stuff are. I mean, even over in Europe and stuff. They're giving them the middle finger. We're done. They ended up finally shutting the beaches down here in Florida because of spring break, because the kids showed up anyways. And they said, we don't care. We're still showing up. They're in panic mode because they're losing control of the people. So they have to really flex their muscle right now and threaten us with things we've never seen before, because what they used to threaten us with doesn't work anymore. Kind of like if you're a little kid and you're being bratty, and you get a swat on the butt. After a while, that swat you become accustomed to. So then they say, I'm going to put my foot up your ass. And then you start thinking, oh, they're getting nasty now. Doesn't matter at this point. Game on.
Yeah.
Game on. When all this is done, if there's no report of any arrest and stuff, and we know it's going to be, but if they were to come out and say there was no arrest or anything like that, and you know what, seeing how the military's here, we're going to keep them here for a while, even though the virus is going away, just to be here to support you people, I guarantee all hell's going to break loose, because I'm not going to live like that. No way in hell. No freaking way in hell. I'll give them a few weeks, but a lot of people are starting to talk about that now. I'll give them a few weeks to get this done. If they don't, then we're going to have a problem on our hands. People are not going to live like they want us to live.
No, we're not going to be a nation in lockdown.
No, we're not. Absolutely not.
And we're not going to be a nation under martial law for very long.
They forget that they work for us. We don't work for them. And it's time that we remind them.
Well, and they need to understand that there's 4 million guns in America, 400 million guns in America.
And they know that, and that's what they're nervous about. Listen, like I said, the elites that can't get on their planes and leave have said they see pitchforks and torches coming for them. You're damn right. These people are not sleeping comfortably at night.
No, I'll tell you, and it's really crazy, and that's what I really love about what's going on right now, is I see fantastic things happening right before my eyes, and I'm blessed as you are to be able to sit in my home in comfort and watch these things unfurl.
Yeah.
You see it all across the country, but thank God I've been avoided with all of it. But it may come here. It may.
It may.
The time may come when they're knocking on my door.
Yeah.
I
don't right now. I don't see it. And I think they understand it, and they know that it would not be a good thing, and it's not going to be an easy thing because people are going to resist. One thing I did want to ask the people that are in chat: has anybody seen chemtrails lately?
No, but Donnie Don says something I know you'll be interested in. Did you see Tom Hanks' son threaten us?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
okay, and Donnie Newman says, I believe there's an underground war going on also. Their tunnels are being collapsed. And Miss Mary, bless her sweetheart, she said that, yes, Donnie, he is a punk and he's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And that's true. And I love it, people, that y'all are talking back and forth in the chat. That means you're involved. So let's think about this Tom Hanks thing. He's considered the king of Hollywood, but yet he's also the king of pedophiles. And then you had Ellen DeGeneres with a shirt on that said, "Run, Forrest."
Yep.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. And now she had the Hermes, it's Hermes, Hermes playing cards with the hangman on it. Ironically, you're talking about Tom Hanks' kid. They just put out another photo of him, and on his bicep, under his arm, he's got a tattoo, and it's of that hangman. And that all has to do with the whole pedophile thing.
Yeah.
They're saying Ellen posed with the card directed to Hanks to basically, it's time to hang yourself. It said the playing cards up, held it, and then she held up her pants, could indicate that Hanks is under ankle monitoring in Australia. But the Crown, all right, Europe is the Crown. The Crown is telling Tom Hanks to suicide. Maybe his handlers are to do it. So we got to watch and see if something happens to him. If he dies all of a sudden, then we're going to really know. Elena is out there every day, and she's sending little tidbits of information, little hints all the time. They are getting better at it, but we know that because they were saying, Tom Hanks just released the other day to his people saying that the people are onto them, and we underestimated them figuring us out and what our codes were, and that we had to go to different codes. Well,
and didn't he also send a message to Hollywood?
Oh, yeah.
To all those effers?
Yeah, I said, for all you effers that are talking, remember, I have more dirt on you than you do on me.
That's right.
So Ellen's not very good at this, changing up the code when you wear a shirt saying it's "Run, Forrest." I mean, really? You freaking imbecile. But I mean, that's the mentality of these people. They're scared. They don't know where to turn. They're in pain. They're suffering, which I think is a beautiful thing. And they're going to roll on each other. Once they start getting picked up, they're going to sing like canaries. That girl, Allison Mack. Allison Mack, yes. I just read an article on her, and they said they called her the Yellow Canary.
Oh, really? Well, that's all nice and sweet. So she's singing like a bird, is what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, and I think Jennifer Aniston is too, and that's why Ellen's in panic mode to get through to her.
Yeah, I've heard that she's been trying for several days. Every hour or so, she's calling Jennifer, and nobody's answering.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's a little crazy, but see, that's Hollywood for you.
Yeah.
Hollywood is crazy. You know, I mean,
That's an understatement.
no more so though than our government.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of lunatics.
That's how they all get along so well.
The time is going to come when this is not going to be acceptable anymore. And I'm hoping and praying that President Trump uses this opportunity with the coronavirus fear and of this pandemic that everybody is so gripped with fear about, tells them just to stay home and let the military and whoever else is in charge there to do their job.
You know,
stay home, don't get involved.
Here's an example of fear and losing control. All right. Nancy Pelosi, all of a sudden praising Trump.
All day long, my mom come in there and says, "Do you hear what she said about Trump?"
Yep. Well, right here, Ilhan Omar's praises Trump's incredible response to the coronavirus. And then we had, what's his name there? From New York.
Schumer.
Schumer. He's praising Trump now.
Chuck you, Schumer.
Yeah, kind of funny how everybody's praising. Why? Because they see their arrests and they see their friends disappearing.
They're scared.
Oh, absolutely. They're scared. They are scared.
I mean, look what happened to Lindsey Graham when John McCain was, well, I don't think he may be dead, but I don't think it was natural. I think it was by his own hand because they held everything over him. But anyway, we don't need to talk about McCain, but what I'm going to talk about is Lindsey Graham. He was all up John McCain's butt. He was his best buddy through everything that he fought Trump about. And then when he died, my Lord, he's the biggest Trump supporter you can find. You know, he jumped ship when his ship sank.
Yeah.
And he grabbed the next thing that was floating by, which he knew was Donald Trump.
Well, a lot of them are jumping ship though now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kind of comical. You know, they don't want any part of this. They need to distance themselves from this. Do you, real quick on the adrenochrome, do you know the most ideal age of getting adrenochrome is a 9-year-old?
How about that? Donnie Newman, yeah, people are stepping down and being arrested worldwide, and then we're going to have a worldwide reset. And I think that's what's pretty much going to happen, Donnie. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. We need to stay out of the way, let them do their job. That's right. 3 weeks to a month, we can all do it. We can all do that. Just sit back. Yeah, you're right, 12B. Ankle grabber Graham. Yeah, you got it, brother. People stepping down and being arrested worldwide. And that's a great thing.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see more.
Oh, we got a lot more coming yet. I just got it. I haven't confirmed it yet, so I really wasn't going to say anything. But I just got information sent to me that it was telling Bobby. Saudi Arabia has flooded the market with oil. Flooded it.
Yes.
And
yes,
that's why Putin left OPEC and he's so ticked off. Well, apparently Saudi Arabia's game plan was to put our shale oil companies out of business.
Right.
Over here.
Fracking.
Yeah. So it appears that Trump took a chunk of the money for the coronavirus and bought all the oil from Saudi Arabia, every last bit of it, and stocked us back up where Obama had left us very, very low.
Depleted, yeah.
And that was the reason for the high prices. Well, Trump just bought it and filled us back up. So that is going to be very interesting because, once again, we're back to being self-sufficient.
Okay, we're self-sufficient. Plus, we create as much oil as Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
And much of it through fracking.
That's correct. I'm sorry, Bobby. Donnie Newman said some of the people involved in drinking of the adrenochrome not are all pedophiles. That is correct. You're right. They're not all
right.
pedophiles.
You're exactly right. They're not all pedophiles, but they're still addicted to the drug.
Oh yeah.
So that's, it's like, yeah, I take heroin, but I don't grow the poppies, or yeah, I take a drug, but I don't make it. It's the same kind of cop out. If you take it, you know where it comes from. So you're just as guilty as if you had taken it yourself. I mean, if you're in a car and somebody gets out and kills somebody and gets back in the car and drives away, you're guilty of that murder just as that person is. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Guilt by association sometimes needs to be done.
I was just looking real quick. They're talking about all the people that want bailouts.
Oh yeah.
Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, really? Screw you guys. How about we take care of the mom and pop stores down the street first?
The Elon Musk needs money, but yet California is raising Cain on him because he won't shut down his vehicle production plant.
Yeah.
So yeah, he needs money, but he's still operating.
Unbelievable. And
I'll tell you, it's crazy what these elites think he can get away with.
Well, yeah, and you got the casinos in Vegas. They're asking for bailouts. Really? When you guys are doing good, you don't give us money.
Wow.
What's that?
They had to close their doors for a day or two.
Oh, yeah. Boo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah. I bet you don't go to the grocery store and not find your toilet paper.
Exactly.
I'm sure you have it delivered and you're well stocked.
Yeah.
So am I, though, by the way, so I'm not worried about toilet paper.
Any extra work that I do, I spend the money on keeping stocked up on stuff. I don't go begging somebody else for it.
I do that, and I've depleted it over time. But I have a medical kit that I need to start replenishing as well. I had a really nice kit, being a paramedic, I had a lot of stuff in there I really shouldn't have had. But I've used it over time, and I need to replenish my medical kit as much as I need to continue to replenish my food supply.
Yeah.
When I go to the store, I always buy a little extra.
Elon Musk and Bozo want $5 billion in grants.
All right. Yeah, I'll tell you what, when they give me $1,000 grant, they can have $1 billion. How's that? I'm not getting a grant for nothing. I don't have a trained shrimp that can run on a treadmill so I can get, $100,000 for doing a study on a shrimp running on a treadmill to create electricity.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing in our nation.
Yeah.
Do you know they're actually doing a study on how much electricity a shrimp on a treadmill creates? I mean, come on.
I've seen some of the bills where they see how many times mosquitoes mate in a season, and it's utterly disgusting. I keep saying it, people, and I'm going to say it again tonight. When this is said and done, we have to remember the people that did this and never forget it. And if they get away with things, we need to remind them on a daily basis what they did to the people. I mean, everybody in this room right now, one way or another, has lost somebody to something, whether it was because insurance wouldn't cover on surgery or their medication or what have you. Everyone in here has been affected by these sleazeballs in the government. Everyone. And it is time to take this country back, put our foot down or put our foot up their ass. I don't care which one, and never let it happen again. Once Trump is done cleaning house, we have to remind these people daily. I watched a video last night in Arizona. They had a lady come in, and I didn't talk to you about this yet, Bobby. They had a lady come in, and the crowd, it was about chemtrails. And this lady was blowing sunshine up the people's backside, and they were getting pissed. And one guy even said, we're just borderline to getting physical. So next time, you bring people here that understand it. She couldn't answer any of the questions. So they said, next time you bring a scientist here that can. People are awake, and they've had enough. And the threats are starting to come to surface. I've watched it over the years. 5 years ago, when people would talk, they'd be careful of what they said. You know, people were upset, but they'd be careful. Now, nobody cares what they say anymore. It's escalating very, very quickly.
I agree, Blue Lou. I had to say that. He said that he's talking about Lady Gaga. They named her Gaga because Goo Goo Gaga would be a bit silly. So,
yeah.
Bail out law-abiding citizens. That's right. Scarecrow. That's right.
Well, we'll see what happens. You know, once this unfolds. You know, they've talked about the debt jubilee, whether or not it'll happen. But think about it, okay? Even when this is done, people are going to be months behind. If it goes as long as they say, people are going to be months and months behind on all their bills and their mortgages and their rent.
No, there'll be a reset.
It's going to have to be.
And the landlords and the finance companies are just going to lose.
Weekend Warrior, the guy with the surfboard.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that.
No, Donnie, I don't. Who is he? The Weekend Warrior?
No, haven't seen The Weekend Warrior.
No, I don't know who that is. Is he on YouTube?
I don't see the chat moving. My chat's so slow.
Yeah. Donnie, is he on YouTube? The Weekend Warrior?
I want to ask you a question.
Shoot.
Since when is having removing breast and genitalia life-saving surgeries?
Come on.
No, you know, all the hospitals, you know, they're postponing elective surgeries and anything that doesn't have to be done right away. They're postponing it to make room for the COVID-19 patients.
Yes.
So what the heck? You know, that's what I want to ask. It's a crying shame that people who don't know which restroom to use or what sex they are can dictate what is considered life-saving surgeries. I mean, they're actually raising Cain and protesting because they can't have their whacker cut off, you know, until this is over. They're going to have to wait.
And it's unbelievable that they have backing.
How can 1.8% of the nation dictate to the majority? But they do it all the time. And it just irks me. I mean, you know, it makes me angry. It does. I mean, these I'm sorry. They're an abomination in the eyes of God, and they certainly are in my sight.
Yeah. I got it, Donnie. I just saved him, so I'll check into him. That should be interesting. Looks like he's got some interesting things on there. So we can do some more on that. Yeah, you know, it's crazy what's going on. You know, like we've all agreed, we got to step back and let these guys do their thing. But we also have to remind them that when it's done, all the toys get put away.
I'll tell you what we need to do. We need to take all of these LBGTQHRSTUV people, and we need to give them surgical kits. You know, we need to give them everything they need to operate on themselves.
Well, I mean, listen, they want to do the self-abortion kits.
Yeah, exactly. So why not give them a really sharp scalpel and a couple of, you know, hemostats or cokers or whatever, and, you know, and maybe a tourniquet if it's needed. If they don't cut it short enough, let them do their own life-saving.
You know what, though? Yeah, you know what, though, Bobby? They'll be irrelevant in the end.
I know, but it's still
because people, it's everything. People are so tired of having everything forced upon them. They're done. They're done.
Yeah, it's not just the deep state. It is. We're being pushed on by the LGBT community, the pro-abortion community.
Tell us to raise our kids.
Yeah, Common Core, how to indoctrinate our kids into their beliefs. I mean, this is an ongoing process that's been going on for years, decades and decades.
That Frederick, and one thing I forgot to tell you, that Frederick Gates,
Yes.
the one during the pandemic there. He
Right.
was also very big on education and how the kids should be taught.
Yeah, he was probably one of the first Common Core advocates. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was
But let me
amazing.
ask you this. You know how crazy California is. You know, they've been shutting down everything, right? Well, guess what he deemed as an essential business?
Yeah.
Governor Gavin Newsom has declared that marijuana stores are an essential business and will remain open during the man-made, man-released, man-spread COVID-19 coronavirus. So there you have it. It's more important. The most important thing in California right now is that everybody has their weed, which, you know, if they did it right, they'd already have enough. But anyway, so now we have pot stores being essential businesses for regular business.
You know, what's right is what's wrong is right, and what's right is wrong now.
That's the way it is. Yeah, it's always that way.
That's the way. And it's up to us to flip it back.
Yeah, and we have to do it united, but yet we still have to do it one person at a time. We all have to stand strong, but stand united in the cause. And the cause is to take back our country, to take back our kids. Yeah. You know? Go ahead.
We need to hang on. I just lost my entire computer. Everything's gone. What the hell? We need to call these people down and not be nice about it.
Yeah.
You know, I go back to when I used to deal with the thugs and the gangs, and people are like, you're kind of hard with that person. And I tell them, they don't understand sitting down and doing tea and crumpets. What they understand is violence. So you match them, and it gets their attention. You have to deal with these people like they treat them like they treat us.
Exactly. So everybody, I'll see if I can find Monica Lewinsky's address and I'll post it, because here's what she said. President Clinton's lollipop liquor, Monica Lewinsky, asked for her 750,000 Twitter followers to send feces to the White House, and posted the address where you can send your stool sample. Well, people, that's really sick. So if I can find her address, I doubt if anybody that I know or anybody in my chat or ever would come to my channel would do such a thing, even in protest. So I'm just kidding. I'm not going to post her address.
You know what I was thinking the other day?
Go ahead.
If Hillary had gotten in office, would she have changed the desk that Monica Lewinsky was under when Bill was there?
Oh my God. That's a good one. I hadn't thought of that one.
Hey, real quick, half of Americans don't trust mainstream media. It's COVID-19 coverage.
Oh, no, it's got to be more than that. See, everything they're saying, half of everything. Like,
yeah,
like half of the world is Democrat, half the world is Republican. You know, half of the people support Trump, half of them don't. Half of the people are pro-abortion, half of the people aren't. I'm tired of these numbers.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm ready for the numbers to be erased. I'm ready for the right to triumph. Yeah. You know, I really am, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I can say that in my life, I stand for what is good and what is right in this country and in this world and in my life. Haven't always been that way. I haven't. Yeah. But I've learned and I've grown and I'm getting old and my mortality is looking me in the face, and I have to reflect and I have to look back and I have to see where I screwed up in my thinking and my actions. So it's time that everybody started waking up, seeing it for what it is, and not trying to project it, not trying to manipulate it, but just let it play out. And we've got things that are going to play out in the near future that none of us expect. I really believe that. I believe there's going to come a time in the near future to where we're going to see a different America than what we see today.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, we're in interesting times, and I guess a part of me should say that I'm grateful to be able to see it.
Yeah.
You know, but we cannot let this happen again, because the next generation could not handle what's going on now.
No.
They would have been overrun already.
I don't think Generation X can handle it, and I'm sure Generation Z can't. And I don't know what generation's coming after that or is already there. But no, we are the last stand. We are the last of the strong Americans. It's to the point now to where everybody is given their lollipops and their feel good pill, and all they want is everybody to be free and happy and everything paid for, no debt. But what they don't realize, what they're asking for is they're asking for everybody to wear the same uniform. They're asking for everybody to drive the same car if you're lucky enough to have one. Yep. Everybody's going to do their little menial jobs 10 or 12 hours a day, and they're going to act like little ants like they do in China.
Hey, listen, I say that we put a bill together and give them their wish. Load them all in a plane and send them to Venezuela, no return. That's what you want. That's what you get. Enjoy. The
there you go. That's what they want is America to be Venezuela.
It ain't going to happen. We're not going to allow it, because I'll tell you right now, if the government doesn't do anything, the people will.
Yeah, we're not going to stand for it. For one, I don't care if people get upset with me or not. Yeah, I will defend myself and my family, my home,
absolutely,
and my God.
Yep. DHF chief, national lockdown not under consideration.
Okay.
There was a lot of talk that we were going to go under a national lockdown, meaning no more traveling whatsoever, no more within state flying. Yeah, they're saying no, it's not going to happen.
That tells me that if they're talking about it, they're thinking about it.
Well, there was a lot of scuttlebutt that it was going to happen.
It may not happen today, but it might happen yet in the future. If things keep going the way they're going, if people start waking up and seeing things for as they are, like you and I are talking about, and start raising our voices, then yes, they will. They will institute it.
Oh, yeah.
They will bring in the military.
That's when things will get interesting if it comes to that.
Well, see, as Americans, we lose everything under martial law. And if we rise up and we try to enforce our Second Amendment or any of our amendments, our right to speech or whatever it may be, our right to worship, if we go up and we try to do these things and they try to quell us, then it will be an uprising.
Yes.
People will not have their constitutional rights removed, I don't think, even under martial law.
No.
I don't think most people will go along with that.
And they're not going to use the term martial law, because they understand that people know what that means. And there is a lot of resistance when you start mentioning those words, martial law. People
what people need to do, they need to look up the term maritime law.
Yeah.
Because we've been under maritime law since 2001. You see the gold fringe on the flag behind Pelosi every time she's there in front of Congress or in front of the cameras. That gold fringe around the flag means and stands for the fact that we are in maritime war.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest that everybody look up what maritime war is and realize that we are at war right here in this country, and we have been since 2001, but nobody knows it.
Right.
So there's things under that maritime law that nobody's invoked that Trump can still invoke without doing martial law.
Well, what's even more interesting is people looked up posse comitatus.
Right.
And you would understand and then go, holy crap, how is this happening? Yeah, Donnie is, she's talking about the schools. That is priority one is getting our schools back and to save our kids and grandkids. That's
no.
I've told you before that that's what I'm doing this for. This is not about me. I'm not looking to be a hero. None of that. I spent my time fighting the fight.
It ain't about the money.
Yeah, your mic is cutting out, Bobby, every time you turn your head.
Okay, I'll be still.
There you go. Yeah, this isn't about me. This is about our kids and our grandkids. It is. We have to put our foot down. It's our time. I mean, it's happened in other generations. It's our time.
You know, John, is my mic okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. When I was a kid, I was blessed. From the 5th grade through the 9th grade, I raised and lowered the flag every day at school. And even as a kid in the early 60s, I knew to respect that flag. I knew not to let it touch the ground. I knew to show it respect. And I guess that's one of the reasons when, as I got old enough, I went in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would hear taps in the evening, or if I was out before reveille and the horn would blow, and everybody would have to turn and face the flag on the main post. Even if you couldn't see the flag, you were to turn and salute. And people would run, literally run, to get inside buildings, places they were going into or want to go into, just so they wouldn't have to salute the flag. And this was your fighting military men. And it used to really eat my craw, because every time I ever saluted the flag, every time I ever stood at attention and reverenced the flag of this great country, I was proud. I was proud to stand there. And I was proud to show reverence to everything I'm willing to die for. That's why I'm in the military. That's why you were a cop.
Yeah. Yep. And I'll fight always till my last day.
Exactly.
Always. I was just thinking, I was chuckling to myself there because Armed American Patriot made a comment about homeschooling his kids, and somebody had written on Twitter, or one of them, it was a mom saying that she was homeschooling her 3 kids. She has 1 suspended and 2 have been expelled already. And it was only the first day of homeschooling. So.
Thank you, Bradshaw. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the comment. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, and we talked about this too.
Yeah, we have.
We talked about getting back in touch with our kids and our families, and this is a perfect time.
It is. If you're going to be sequestered, not locked into your homes, but if you're going to be pretty much staying in home, everybody's pretty much got their supplies now, and they're ready to do whatever has to be done and hunker down. Yeah. And I hope your families went out, or you already had board games.
Yeah.
With the computers and stuff the way it is, maybe you could do some family games. Go buy a Wii or something so you can bowl as a family, or something like that. It's time to reconnect. Read the Bible.
Yep. You know what's so funny when you think about it? The elites have spent billions and billions of dollars in time and energy to break the family down and to destroy family values and do everything they possibly could to change us into what they want. And then when the virus goes out, all of a sudden, people are back together. We have family time. We have time with our kids. Everything that these yin yangs do backfires, and they still haven't caught on to it yet. They're idiots. They really are freaking idiots. Everything that they're trying to do to destroy this country only makes us stronger and puts us back together.
John, can I give you an analogy?
Sure.
Everything they do, they hope and they pray that it'll work. But they know in their hearts it will fail. Just like Satan knows that his days are numbered, and so are theirs. See, there's nothing Satan can do. He can bring in the false prophet. He can bring in the Antichrist. He can try to confuse the whole world. He can have wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes, and diverse places. He can do all these things. Everything can happen, but when it comes down to the very end, He's not God.
Right.
And neither are these demon rats.
Yep.
You know, that they put themselves out there and they tell you what they're doing before they do it most of the time. It's like some kind of unwritten law, you know. But yeah, they think and hope they can win, but they know in their hearts that they're doomed. They know there's no survival for them because it's ordained from heaven that Satan will not succeed. He will fail.
Yep. Donnie Bruce brought up a good point too. Trump is going to go down in history as the best president the United States ever had. And I think back to that with Obama on a late night show, teasing Trump, saying, "Well, at least I was president."
No, he wasn't.
You know, so there you go again. It's just they don't get it. You know, I just want to get this done so people can get back with their lives. You know, I've said it ever since I got involved with doing stuff like that. You know, people you'd say, "Oh, you're extremist, you're this, you're that." Listen, it's really simple. I just want to be able to go to work, make a living, get paid on Friday, support my bills, buy my food, have a little money left over, and leave me the hell alone. Don't tell me what to do, what to say, how to dress, who I can like, who I can't like. I don't want to hear it. Leave me the hell alone. Stop raping me for taxes on everything you do. Just leave the people be. But no, you got to keep, you know, hitting the beehive. And then you're amazed when everybody gets together and gets pissed.
Yeah.
You know, this time they smacked the hell out of the beehive. And it's going to be hard to calm the bees down now.
I don't think there's going to be a calming for a while. I think there's going to be a swarm. I think there's going to be a swarm, and a lot of people are going to be affected. And it's we're going to come out the other side of this thing a better people and a better country.
Yeah,
I really believe that. I really believe that in all my heart.
We're still going to have some people that will never wake up, and it is the way it is.
True.
You know, but I think it's going to, it is opening the eyes of a lot of people. I mean, we start seeing new names in here every day, you know, the ski man, you know, we're getting new people, Troy Bradshaw. And that's what it's all about, you know, getting people to wake up and understand. And, you know, we try to dig down deep and find the stuff that nobody else is looking for or finding to help put the puzzle together, because what the news is saying is either half the truth or no truth at all.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, brother, is we're just trying to get as much truth as we can out there. We're not here for the money, and we're not here for the notoriety, but we are here to bring you the truth, like it or not. And until this whole ordeal is over, John and I are going to keep coming to you together, because together we research and we play off each other, and we get a lot accomplished. So we're going to keep doing this, at least through this crisis that we're in. And it is a crisis, John.
Yeah.
And people need to wake up and realize that it is a crisis, not to be fearful of, but to be aware of.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad you mentioned that, Bobby. That is the big thing. They love keeping people in fear. Do not live in fear. Okay? They love that. They thrive off of that because they know that's a good way to hold you down. Do not let them put you in fear. Do not let them keep you in fear. You know,
right.
We know, I mean, I've said it before, but there is a higher power that controls all this. And if I'm answering to anybody, that's the only one I'm answering to. The rest
there
of
you
them,
go.
I don't care if it's the Pope or the president. You're just another person to me. And when you start interfering with my life, so be it.
Yeah.
So be it.
Well, John, I'll tell you, brother, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I think we got a lot of stuff covered. And I want to thank you guys. Even though the count was low tonight, for some reason, YouTube is not sending out my notifications. I've had the lowest count today on 2 separate videos that I've ever had.
It's sad.
It's sad. I mean, I've never had such a low count in my life. So I don't know if they're just not sending my stuff out or what. But I'll tell you what, people, we're not going to lay down with it. And come Wednesday night, we're going to be back right here Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, John and we're going to bring you the latest, I promise you, the very latest news that you won't find unless you really spend the time and put in the effort to search it out. So we're going to do the work for you. Come join us as we share it with you. John, do you have anything to say before we close this out?
Yeah, I still haven't even gotten your alert yet.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
It's not even there.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even
crazy.
have the alert yet. I don't know if anybody else did, but I didn't.
Well, I guess I'm being shadow banned, or
well,
maybe they're doing it to everybody. I don't know.
I don't know. They don't want anybody to hear the truth because they lose when people know the truth.
That's right.
You know,
but we had 10 people in here and they heard the truth. Armed American Patriots, so glad you're here. Troy Bradshaw, Philip Turner, Scarecrow, Ski Man, 12B Georgia. All you guys, man, thank y'all for hanging with us. You're always the guys that we can count on. So we had a good time. Even though we had a low count, we got the truth out to a few people, and I know the people in here. Yeah, I know 12B, no alert. Yeah, right. It's not sending out anything for me in notifications. We'll see what happens Wednesday with that. And if still no notifications going out Wednesday, I guess I'll have to call YouTube. But until then, dear friends, John, I want to thank you again for coming in and helping me with this. Everybody, y'all have a good night.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for coming in, and we'll keep doing what we're doing if you guys keep coming in.
Thank you, guys. Thank you again, John.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.